Okay, welcome everyone. Ian O'Brien here, and I'm sitting down today with Brian Robinson, and Brian's got a really good experience so far of learning to play. Not like a good experience, but I think the story is interesting, worth telling. He's decided to focus on specific areas and specific levels for a period of time. Share that with everyone. So thanks, Brian. Good to see you today.
Oh, thanks, Ian.
Cool. And let's crack off with what you're going back to this time, sort of last year. What was your original motivation for wanting to play the guitar?
Well, I mean, COVID had a lot to do with it. I got out of COVID and I realized that I had wasted a lot of time that I could have I could have spent that time doing something to that I'd always wanted to do. Everybody says they want to learn to play guitar or learn a new language and all that. And I didn't do any of that, and that was kind of weighing on my mind. And I'd also tried once before when I was traveling to learn. I took some lessons from a large guitar store, and didn't really find that took me any further, and kind of frustrated me. And I just thought, you know what? I'd seen your videos online and thought maybe I'll give this a try. And so that's what kind of drew me to you is sort of testimonials like this of people my age that had found it to be a good experience. So I thought I'd give it one more shot.
Great, lovely stuff. And had you wanted to play the guitar for quite a while by that point when we started talking?
Yeah, I had. I've got three sisters, and they play instruments, and I had just always loved the sound. My favorite music tends to be singer songwriters that are mostly guitar and lyrics. Not a whole lot of anything else. And so I just really always liked the guitar. So yeah, I'd wanted to for a while and just never sort of taken the plunge.
Mhm. Okay, great. And yeah, it's been a year, but whereabouts were you with your guitar playing? Sort of this time last year when we first got in touch and
Not, maybe a couple chords, could play halfway decent. You know, I had a guitar, and actually my younger son plays guitar at a really high level. So he had gone through a number of guitars, and so I had snagged one of his really, and said, I think maybe that one will be mine. And but yeah, really starting from scratch, quite honestly. No skills to speak of. Yeah.
very cool. And did you start on one of your son's guitars?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, that's what that is what I've got in one of his acoustic guitars, and that's what I've selected to start with. And as we talked about before, I've since bought one other that I take on the road with me when I'm traveling. One that I'm less concerned about if it gets damaged or stolen. It won't break my heart, but yeah, I've got a decent one at home that I can play when I'm here.
Nice. That's really good. I'd like to talk about this a little bit more because some people feel like if they're moving about or they have to travel a bit for work, that the consistency can mean they're not able to start learning or they don't have the lifestyle that allow them to commit to what it takes to learn an instrument. But you've found some interesting ways around this, haven't you? Like if you're some other time you're traveling for work. So what do you do? You mentioned you've got a couple of guitars. How do you navigate that?
Yeah, well, I tend to go to the same place. So one of the hotels that I stay in has agreed to just store the guitar for me while I'm in London, and so I just leave it there. And when I check in every week, they hand it back to me, and so I can have it in the room. So in the evenings, instead of finding myself at the bar every evening, I find myself staying in the room more often, working on songs and just relaxing. So yeah, it's kind of like everything. You can talk yourself out of exercise, and I'm sure you can talk yourself out of having enough time to put it in the time to learn the guitar. But if you put your mind to it, there's always a solution, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know quite a few people who they're not in one place all the time, and they don't have that choice necessarily, and it doesn't have to be a barrier. But I think what you've put in place is fantastic. Like, really good way around
Yeah.
it.
And I
You,
think, if you don't really mind it, like I said, it's the one I have on the road is just a low end guitar, but I put some decent strings on it that feel really good, and so it just feels good. It may not sound as good as my other guitar, but as far as the feel and just getting to practice, it's great.
cool. So you were this time last year, around the beginning, starting out a journey, had a couple of chords. What's your experience been like over the last year of learning?
Yeah, so I've worked through almost all the strumming patterns. I jumped ahead. I really like the different strumming patterns, and I've gotten to about where I can play pretty decently about 15 songs, and a few of them I think I play perfectly just about every time, and then others, if I haven't played for a while, it takes me two or three times through to for it to come back, but it usually does come back. So I think I can, about 15 songs I can play fairly quickly after I pick up the guitar,
Lovely.
and I really like them. I tried a few others, and as you and I were talking, some of the Django chords, the songs don't sound quite as good, but some of the songs they sound really good, and so I tend to play the ones that I really like the sound of.
Great. Yeah, great. And I think this is worth going into a little bit. I know we talked about it ourselves, but you're at the level where you committed to staying at White Pick with the Django's for a year. And you've really gone deep into that. Well, in terms of the rhythms, has also explored a bit deeper. But the fact that you're at the stage where some of the songs they sound great with the Django's, and other ones you're starting to recognize how they could sound closer to the originals, and there's a limitation with being a white pick, and that's when we develop that kind of ability to hear in a way is a really good sign of to move on, and we're ready to move on and to combine things into the Django's, not discard them but keep them and maintain them and build our repertoire of chords, build a repertoire of songs, because of course some songs that the original guitar player was using Django, some songs they weren't, so it can depend. But that's great. 15 songs. Do you remember the first one that you learned?
I think I tried blowing in the wind first, and that was not a good one to start on for me. But Brown Eyed Girl is the one, and that's one of the ones that I still play a lot. Like, I just love the sound of that one. So that one, and Stand By Me, I think is a pretty easy one to start with. And but yeah, and then just have been kind of working through King of the Road, and Keep to the Sunny Side. Now, I mean, just those are the kind of songs that I like. And most recently, I've been playing Closer Defined by the Indigo Girls, which I do like the way that one sounds with the Django chords. It's a really nice song. Yeah.
That's cool. That's lovely because they that's a good example of a song that mixes up a little bit of opens, a little bit of Django to make it a bit more expressive. So that would be a really nice one to take with you as you move through the levels. Whereas sometimes it's good to completely move on to just new songs that are become a become doable as you move up. But some of them is nice to take with you. That would be one. And you're doing what was it? You mentioned a Cat Stevens song as well. Are you playing a Cat
Oh,
Stevens?
Father and Son. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I really like that Miss Two strumming pattern. That's a really nice one. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely, lovely stuff. Well, that's a lovely collection of songs. I see what you mean with the singer-songwriter kind of stuff as well. The acoustic guitar, the song sort of based music. That's a lovely collection. And um, where are you going from here? So we've spent around a year. We've been learning a lot of the skill sets in terms of sets of chords, the changes between them, different rhythms, and to coordinate the both hands um, to get playing a repertoire of songs. And now we're looking at, yeah, what do you see over the next sort of year working together? Where do you want to go now?
Yeah, so absolutely, I want to move into the open chord program, and I did commit mentally because I saw in one of I don't remember whether it was one of the live sessions or whether it was in one of the recordings, but you had mentioned this butterfly learning about just bouncing around, and that really stuck with me. I was like, you know what, I'm going to commit a whole year to the Django's. I'm going to get as much of that as I can out of it, and I think I have.
Mm,
And now I'd like to move into the open chords and move into yellow pick, and so that's going to be my goal for this year. And I think if at the end of this next year, if I can play, the open chords as well as I feel like I'm playing the Django's, I'm going to be really happy.
great. Yeah, yeah, you will be. Absolutely. It's a good, yeah. The beginning of yellow for a whole for a new year is great. Um, really good place to be. And you've already, you've dived into some of the rhythms and stuff that happen there as well. So we'll just focus on the chords. We'll get into songs. Um, that's great progress. And you mentioned, a couple of guitars. Sometimes you're practicing different locations and things. What does your what does your practice typically look like? Like how many days are you picking it up? How long do you pick it up for?
I think probably like real sessions, a good 20 plus minutes. I probably only do about three a week, but because I have a home office and I'm here quite a bit, I do a lot of playing a song two or three times through, sometimes four or five times a day, just in between meetings and, during my lunch break, because I just like playing the guitar. It's just fun. And so, if a meeting ends early, sometimes I'll pick up a guitar and play a song.
Right.
It's probably less consistent than most, but time wise, yeah. I mean, I think I probably do get 4 or 5 hours a week, maybe.
Yeah, lovely. That's great. And it's a really good example of that you don't need to commit to like a big chunk of time in one burst. It can be broken up as long as you've got this structured and focused times, 20-minute chunks. If you're picking it up just because you see it and you want to, because it's fun, and all of that sort of snowballs the time you spend with the guitar. Really, really great. Yeah, lovely stuff. It's exciting to hear where you're going to go from here and guide you through it and help you with it. But it's fantastic progress. So very, very well done. I'm really happy. You're doing great.
Me too. So I think, yeah, I mean, for me, the program, as we talked earlier, just the fundamentals, the way that you take the time to break it down and really, go through everything. I mean, even, things like keeping your fingernails clipped and, doing the exercises and just really taking the time to be disciplined about it has really helped. Having structure has helped. So it works for me.
Excellent. Yeah, really good. And what kind of advice do you have as a final question? What kind of advice do you have for somebody who was where you were a year ago? What do you in terms of their guitar learning?
I think just keep it fun. I mean, don't be so obsessive about progressing at a rate. Just enjoy the bits that are going right, and just step away and come back to it again and try the bits that aren't going right. And over time, those things that don't go right just become fewer and fewer, and it just starts to feel good. But you know, I would say just don't suffer over it. Don't be in a hurry. Just move at your own pace and have fun.
There we go. Yeah, solid advice. Absolutely. Sometimes when people have an energy where they want to be somewhere by a certain time and they give themselves like, oh, I want to be at this point, then that way of being, that kind of tension can creep into the enjoyment of it, and it can creep into how effective you are on the guitar. And it's really weird and counterintuitive, but by slowing down, relaxing, being methodical, being focused, the progress is way faster. which is kind of, yeah, it's counterintuitive. But you really embody that. Like, just enjoy it, pick it up because you love it. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's been great. Yeah.
lovely. Thanks a lot, Brian. I really really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to sort of the journey, your journey over the next year as well.
Oh yeah, looking forward to next year. Yep.